What is up, Eastern Oregon? This is Dodzy, and this is your sports show for Friday, March 26, 2021. It's Friday. You know what that means. Friday dance. Go. This is all brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Buffalo Peak Golf Course, man, what else can I say about it? It's absolutely beautiful. You go out there, 18-hole course, rolling hills, beautiful views. Meet me at the peak. I have 3 guests today, so I'm not going to play around. My first guest, man, this one was fun. She's EOU Volleyball, the 8th ranked EOU Volleyball. She's a senior. It's Aspen Christiansen. Here, Aspen, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really good. This weather's weird, huh?
Yeah, I'm really not enjoying it at all.
No.
I was excited for the sun the last couple of days, but we're not getting it anymore.
We get teased in Eastern Oregon. You've probably figured that out by now. You've been here long enough. It's the land of like 18 seasons.
Yeah, I know. It's awful.
Let's start you off with the same question I asked just about everybody. How'd you end up at EOU?
Oh gosh. So Prineville has a really big connection with the Eastern volleyball program because Kaki went to school, the same high school that I went to. And so everything that Kaki has learned and known, we get told that and taught that in our high school. And my high school coach was Kaki's high school coach. And so I've just learned everything the way Kaki coaches. And so we've always been taught to love Eastern Oregon and to want to go there and to play for her. And so that's just what I did.
It wasn't a hard choice, I take it.
Oh gosh, no, I think this was my only choice. It was either coming here.
Kaki's quite amazing, actually. I mean, she's just shattering records at EOU when it comes to volleyball coaching. What's your favorite part about Eastern Oregon? Like,
I would say the atmosphere. It's a lot like Prineville, which is where I'm from, and the same community support, same environment, same volleyball program, and really everything. I love the scholastics about it too. Just everything feels like home to me.
The culture up there at EOU is very good. I mean, it's solid from Angie. From Tom all the way down. It's like I've talked with a lot of college athletes, and one of the consistent things is like if you, at bigger schools, you won't see the president walking around campus. No.
Yeah, and he was at our last home game too.
Of course he was. You guys are on fire right now.
Everyone at the school is so supportive to coming to everything. And I have teachers that I haven't had for like 3 years now still email me after sets and tell me that I did a good job and that they're watching and keeping up with the live stats and everything. It's so cool.
You guys are 11-0.
Yeah.
Ranked number 8 in the country. And your big test comes this weekend.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this weekend.
It's 8 versus 13, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are going to Salem to play that?
Mm-hmm. We're going to leave tomorrow, actually.
You've been to that campus before. That's a beautiful campus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right there in the foothills of East Salem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that. I used to coach baseball in that valley, and we did a USA baseball camp at Corbin University. It used to be Western Baptist back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. Back in the old school, when EOU was still EOSC, Corbin was called Western Baptist.
Oh, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah. It's kind of like C of I used to be Albertsons.
Yeah.
EOU used to be EOSC. The names change. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this team. You guys are pretty you have what, 3 seniors only, right?
Yeah.
So you, Kylie, and
Madison Pylon.
Oh, and Maddie, huh? So you got like Cambry, Jet. They're all junior girls.
Yeah, with a possible extra year of eligibility.
Yeah, that leads right into my next question. Are you coming back?
No, I'm not going to. It was a tough decision, but I actually finished school in the fall term.
Right.
And so right now I'm already hanging out, going to work every day, and then going to volleyball for 2 terms longer than I was supposed to.
I like to call that Max McCullough in it.
Yeah.
There's going to end up being a lot of athletes that run out of school, and thankfully there's, master's programs, and that thing, I don't know what they call it, but it's the thing where like a senior can come back and they take classes, but they're not actually, are they going for a minor or something like that?
The senior eligibility thingy, you can come back and just take regular classes for 1 term. Then you can leave, yeah. And that's what I was going to do. I had a master's program lined out for this year, but it got cut because of COVID. And so I'm just chilling with my bachelor's now.
You're just chilling with her bachelor's, huh?
Yeah.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
No.
Good girl.
I don't like anything really, just cheese, pure cheese.
Just cheese?
Yeah.
You're a simple girl.
I know.
I like it. So academically, school-wise, what's your degree in?
So I have a bachelor's in health and human performance, but it's mostly focused on community health, public health.
So what does Aspen Christiansen want to be when she grows up? I'm not saying you're not grown up, but
yeah, I'm not.
Atta girl.
I want to go back to Central Oregon and try to get in line either with like a county job or at a hospital, just with their public health department. That's my goal.
You say you work here now. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm the manager at Sorbonauts.
Oh, you are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like right across the street?
Yeah.
That's where I've seen you before. I don't go there very often because I don't drink coffee. But I do go through and get a blended Red Bull every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's where I've seen you before.
I've been there since my freshman year. I finally
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of people come and go.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, let's get back to volleyball. What's the goal for the team?
Oh gosh, obviously to win nationals. Hopefully, that's the goal. The goal also is to win conference. We've shared the conference title the last 2 or 3 years. Every year we have, and so the goal
with the same team too, huh?
I think it was with Corbin or with Southern. Yeah, I think Southern both times. Yeah, it's been. We just hope that wherever the conference tournament is, that we're the home team and we win. That's the goal.
Of course. I love it. I mean, I sometimes when an athlete tells me anything other than the top of the mountain as their goal, I question it.
I know.
Because like people say, well, I just want to do good. It's like, well, that can be your goal, but if you're competing, people don't go climb Everest to make it halfway up.
No, and then go back home.
Right. No, they want to get up there and sign that book and say, I'm one of the people that have been to the very top.
Yeah.
I think that's very realistic goal for this team too. I've watched a little bit. I've got to live stream a little bit. I haven't been to an actual game this year, but I saw the comeback on last Friday. Wow. I mean, you go 2 sets down and then you guys just claw back and keep that perfect record going, and it was, you guys didn't even play very good, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, but somehow you guys found a way to win, and that's what champions do.
Yeah, I think that was really good for us to play a 5-set match because we haven't had to do that yet, and we haven't been that down yet. So I think it shows something that we have some kind of fight in us.
Perseverance.
We were not playing good.
You guys had only played two 4-set matches the whole season before that.
Yeah.
All the rest of them were straight sweeps.
Yeah, so hopefully this weekend we'll go back to sweeps. Hopefully.
Against Corbin, that would be awesome.
That'd be crazy.
Do you have your phone?
Yes.
Grab it.
Okay.
What's the first song on your playlist, whether it be Spotify or whatever?
Oh God. Right now I was playing Slide in my phone, in my car by Calvin
Who's it
Harris.
by?
Frank Ocean, Calvin Harris, and Migos.
Oh, I'm sure I've heard it before. I don't know the names. I use it for Instagram.
I'm so bad at knowing songs too. I just press shuffle because I have no idea what's going on.
So this team is super tight, right? You guys are very tight. How did COVID affect that?
It was weird going from seeing them at least like 5 hours a day to literally just getting to FaceTime or Snapchat all quarantine, all summer, not see everyone in person. That was weird. And we don't get to hang out now. Even when we come home, we have to hang out with our roommates, which thankfully I live with Presley and Sade on the team. But everyone else, we have to still wear a mask if they come over, and that's really affected bachelor night.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
COVID's affected everybody across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, normally I would have been up at EOU almost every day covering sports. I'm really close with the basketball team this year. So just to give you a little preface, I used to produce the Johnny Ballgame show, and then we decided to go our separate ways. Not anything, it was just because of COVID, basically. And I spent a lot of time with that basketball team last year, and this year I haven't been. I mean, I've been to one EOU event, and that was because it was a Frontier Conference football game.
Oh yeah.
And that was the only, otherwise fans, media, like you guys are limited to, I think, a couple of fans per player. And it's just been weird. What's that like? I mean, because you play a sport your whole life in front of fans.
Yeah, especially my parents. I feel like this year, especially, my parents have been like leading up to this final year of volleyball as a whole. And now the first game they got to watch in person was last weekend. And they were still like 6 feet apart, spread from everyone in the crowd, because it was just our parents allowed. Right. And so I think they can't even make next weekend when we're home again. And so that was like, unless they go to nationals, that was like the last time.
And this is your senior year.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have any aspirations volleyball wise after college, like coaching maybe, or?
Maybe coaching. There's a really good club team in Central Oregon that I hope to either go back to that I went through growing up, or maybe coach for the high school one day, but not like a dream or like dire need to. I've really appreciated my time in volleyball, and I love it more than anything. But I'm ready to step further outside of volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I was a college athlete too, and there comes a time when you realize like the reality of playing anything past a certain level is not going to happen, and life has to happen. So you have to make that adult decision, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, you got to put yourself in a position to move on and to reach other dreams and goals.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Kaki.
Oh gosh, she's like a mom, a best friend, and a coach, all in one. And she can kick your butt if we need her to, or she is like our biggest supporter. And she actually lives like less than a mile away from me. And so during the summer and like holidays when I can't go home, she lets us all go over to her house and eat dinner with her and hang out with her. And I watch her daughter occasionally, not often lately, but within the last couple of years, I hang out with her daughter Brim all the time, and I just love her more than anything.
She's one of my favorite coaches up there. She's always prompt. She always returns texts. One time, I'll tell you a funny story. I texted her on accident. I was meaning to text Angie or Tiffany, and I said, I need a basketball player for the show. Well, she thought I was just texting her because she knows that I know she'll come through. And she got me a basketball player. It was awesome. And then I finally realized, I was like, dude, I texted the wrong person. So I texted her back and I was like, I didn't mean to text that to you. Like, I wouldn't ask you to get me a basketball. And she was like, it's no problem.
Yeah.
She's one of a kind. All-time wins leader at EOU. Like, we just celebrated her 300th win. Yeah. It's phenomenal. It really is.
Yeah, her philosophies are amazing. And she goes by Gold Medal Squared, which is like a program that I went through growing up. And I think that she has just kicked butt at coaching us and getting us better every day and holding us accountable. She's so good at everything she does.
If somebody was going to write a biography about Aspen Christiansen, what would the title be?
Probably something smart alecky. I'm very very quick-witted. I say but like the first thing that comes to my head, and it's not always the best, but
Join the club.
it's funny though. It's usually very funny.
So it would be something funny, something cool. You got to come up with a name. I'm not coming up with it for you.
Probably the endless humor of Aspen Christiansen.
The endless humor of Aspen. Yeah. Are you the team clown?
Probably, I would say.
Most if likely. I were to ask, say, Khaki or Maddie, like who the team clown is.
Yeah, it'd probably be me.
Yeah. That's not a bad role.
No, it keeps everything very light and airy, and no one ever gets like all tense or anything. I'm always cracking jokes, even if we're like losing in a very tight situation. I'm always like whispering something under my breath to the person next to me, and they start laughing.
Yeah,
helps the situation.
That's key. Keep things light, because college sports can have a lot of pressure sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes very much.
And well, especially when you're nationally ranked, there's high expectations of this team.
Yeah, it seems kind of normal though. Like I never feel like we're under pressure of like our rankings or anything. It just seems
because you're always ranked.
Yeah, it just seems very normal.
Yeah, right. So if you were on an island, right, and you either had to be by yourself for the rest of your life or with somebody that never stopped talking.
Oh, that's a good one. Probably by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If it was someone that just couldn't stop talking,
I think
that's a tough one though.
It is. I think we need human touch for one thing, and I think we need social. Like one of the things that Matt Scarfo says is with the social distancing, let's stop calling it social distancing because we still need to be social. Let's call it physical distancing.
Yeah.
We don't want to socially distance. We want to socially come together during this time. We just need to physically distance. And I love that. He said that during an interview that I had with him, and it stuck with me. I bring it up all the time.
Yeah.
And then the talking part, I mean, you could shut them up if you had to.
That's true. That's true, actually. Okay, then I would go with talking because I love my quiet time, but I also would probably go crazy if I was with myself all the time.
What's your favorite thing about this EOU volleyball team this year, 2020, 2021?
How funny everyone is. Everyone is hilarious, which makes us closer because we're all just laughing and cracking jokes all the time. We usually get in trouble for it, but I think it's pretty funny.
Do you have a favorite food?
Pasta.
Pasta?
Yeah.
Me too, but I'm fat, so I can't eat it.
I'm going to get there when I stop playing.
I love pasta.
I do too.
My favorite is burnt butter and Parmesan cheese.
Oh, yeah. I love Alfredo, chicken Alfredo.
Oh, I love that too. I started this diet with Metrum, and it's part of my show, and it's a sponsored thing, and I don't get that kind of stuff. So it's
that's what I like about being an athlete is that Kaki's always like carb load, and I was like, don't worry.
No problem. All right. When I was your age, I could eat like a horse and not gain weight. I mean, I've always been really big, but at the same time, when I was your age, I was way more active. I was an athlete as well, and that was the fun times of eating. Like you could just eat whatever you want. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. So last question, and then I'll get you out of here. And I ask everybody this. I'm a senior in high school, right? And your job right now is to recruit me to come to Eastern Oregon University to play volleyball.
Gosh. What would I do?
Yeah, recruit me.
Okay, so I would ask you if your relationship with your professor is going to mean a lot and you want to have a close-knit relationship with them to come to Eastern, because max, besides like anatomy, the most you'll have in a class is maybe 15 to 20 people, and that is probably the closest you can get with a professor in any university. And so I would say that is a big and important role. And you have to like the atmosphere of LeGrand, knowing that it's very based on outdoors. And so if you like going hiking, going swimming in the lakes, going trails, snowboarding, skiing, that you would come here as well. And you would like to have a small town atmosphere with a big community support, because that is one of the things that drew me here, was that I can have people come through the coffee shop all day long and ask me how my last game was, and I could have no idea who they are, but they would say that they were there watching on a normal year without COVID, that they were in the crowd, and that's why they like to come through my work, is to see me and to have that good relationship with me. And so if you want that type of support, that's why you would come here.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Eastern Oregon. I'm Dodzy with Eastern Oregon Alive Sports. She is EOU women's volleyball senior, the lovely Aspen Christiansen. I appreciate you. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
That interview was super fun. She loosened up at the end. It was super cool, man. I love it. One of the things that I'm gonna do today is bring back the local legends, and it's the Doug Trice Memorial Local Legends. We started a golf tournament that funds a scholarship up at the high school. If you're interested in donating, get a hold of me. If you're interested in playing in the golf tournament this year, get a hold of me. That's all in conjunction with Buffalo Peak Golf Course. And last year we raised almost $4,000. We almost paid for the scholarship for 2 kids for 2 years. Doug Trice Memorial Local Legends, my first guest. She's an LHS graduate. She came back to college at EOU and is multiple-time national champion and All-American. She's none other than Karlee Coffey. I am here with a local legend. I mean, that's what this segment's going to be, so we may as well just point it out right off the bat. She graduated in '99 from LeGrand High School. She graduated in 2013 from EOU, and she's multiple-time national champion, multiple-time All-American. Karlee Coffey, what's up?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So like, I guess the first question that I ask pretty much everybody that comes on my show is like, why EOU? Like, what happened? Like, how'd you get there?
Well, I had my son in 2007, and we moved to LeGrand from Portland. And from there, we basically just were living close to family because I had my whole family still in LeGrand, and I was kind of bored. And so I decided to go back to school to get my bachelor's. And at the time I was a massage therapist. So I went back to school and just was running to be in shape, and got connected with Ben, and he was like, come out for cross country and track and field. And originally I was like, I'll run the marathon for you guys. I'm old and I can do a good marathon. So I started cross country instead. And my first year I broke 18 minutes, which is a barrier. And from there, it just was history.
So Ben recruited you, huh? Ben Welch, the legend.
Ben Welch actually was honored with me falling into his lap.
That's funny because Lisa McGurgy, she's a 2004 graduate LeGrand, and she was originally recruited by the track and field and cross country team too.
Oh,
which
awesome.
is, I think that's like a Ben thing, maybe. I don't know. So tell me a little bit about your time at EOU. Like, touch on, like mainly like the athletic side of it.
Well, I just was like, honestly, didn't know what I was doing. I remember the first cross country season going to some of the other people on the team and being like, what is cross country? Like, what shoes do I wear? Do I just wear my tennis shoes? Like, I had no idea. And I bought my first pair of cross country spikes that year. And from there, I just like learned how to race my first year. The first race we had was Roger Curran invite in Nampa. And I will never forget going out so hard, and I just was so competitive. I wanted to win. And there was one woman who beat me at the very end. And I remember riding on the bus on our way back, and I was so ticked that I didn't win. And Ben was just like, are you kidding me? Like, you just started running and this girl's already an All-American. Like, you just need to be patient. And so from there, it was just super competitive. I just did everything he said. I didn't run in high school. I didn't play any sports in high school, really. So I just was like learning etiquette, how to train, what it meant to be on a cross country team. And it just kind of took a form of its own. I had no idea that I was ever a runner. So it was a pleasant surprise. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Nice. I think that even so you talk about not doing any sports in high school, right? And even people that do sports in high school don't realize that at the next level, your body is your instrument, right? And so it becomes like this focus as you progress through your college career. And one of the things that I've noticed about you is like you're always in really good shape. I mean, like it's ridiculous. And to go back, I mean, so you had graduated in 99. So you went back to college, you know what?
I was 28 or 29.
28 or 29, which is not the peak time for a runner.
Mm-mm.
Right? I mean, you would think you're running against like 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And so describe that a little bit. Like, was it uncomfortable, or did you fit in, or, you know, like?
There were some similarities and some differences. I had a lot of similarities to the freshmen in that this was just a new environment. Like some of them had come from high school programs, but you know, my mileage was starting around theirs because I had no concept. I mean, I later learned the joke was always like, I needed like 4 miles to warm up before a race because I just had an older body and needed more time. But I had a lot of similarities, just kind of learning the ropes of what running in a cross country track program looked like. But overall, I think it was kind of a good time. I needed a sense of community. I ended up going through a divorce during my time at Eastern, and Elliot was like our team mascot. He was screaming his lungs out at races. And I think that, you know, it was just overall felt great. I started to see a little bit of gap right away, training wise. I didn't have distractions. I had already been through the like hang out with buddies, drink, party scene. And so in my younger years, so I didn't really have that desire. I had a little bit more discipline. Not to say I didn't have a couple fun moments at Eastern with the young kids, but they definitely, you know, there was a little bit of separation in like how serious I took it. I looked at it as a really huge opportunity. It was NAIA, I feel like, is a second chance opportunity for people who either are too old for the NCAA or missed some opportunity at some point. So I didn't really, you know, feel that much of an age gap other than when it came to like responsibilities. Like I have a kid and I just had a different responsibilities that way. But
Yeah, right. Did any of the people on the team ever call you like the team mom, or?
I was just like the old lady.
The old lady, huh? Did you have a nickname?
Not, I mean, I don't think so. I think it was just like Karlee usually. I mean, I don't know. I hear stories from some of the guys on the team, like Doug Benson and Cam and Jay Roy and this whole group of people who, when I came out, they were like, we had the time trial every year. And when I came out, they're like, who is this old lady? like walloping these other girls. Like, but they all were really great to me.
Well, so like looking at you now, even like you didn't look like an old lady.
No.
I mean, you've aged very well.
Thank you.
So as for your times, like your times were good enough to run NCAA, right? I mean,
yeah. So by my last year, the time I was running my 10K in was, if I was racing against, so Emma Bates was running the 10K that spring, and I had run a faster time than Emma Bates at the time. Emma Bates now, she ran for Boise State. She now runs for ASICS, and she just blew up. Like she got so good after college. I unfortunately have just got older. So my prime has come and gone, but it was cool to compare times and be like, wow, if I wasn't my age, I would be in contention to win an NCAA title, which would have been awesome.
Right. So after EOU, where'd your running career go after EOU?
I transitioned right into Bowerman Track Club. They now are a professional team, and they had an elite team and then a pro team. So I ran with the elite team. I had an offer from Brooks Hansen's project, but I was a mom and I had a massage business. It just wasn't conducive to be a professional runner. So I just decided to run for a club, and I qualified for USA's in the 10K. I was ranked, I think, 27th in the nation in 2013. And then from there, I ended up having some injuries that kept bugging me. I ended up having surgery on my heel last year. And I just tell people, like, this is what a national champion looks like when you try it when you're old. Like, your body gets really beat up.
I couldn't. I mean, I played college baseball, and I couldn't imagine like going back at 30 or 28 even and trying to throw a baseball. I mean, I'm like, it's your body. Time's not your friend when it comes to sports.
No.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I do.
You do? You're one of the weird ones, huh?
I am a weirdo.
I don't like warm pineapple. I love pineapple, but I just don't like it warm.
Yeah.
So now, where are you at now?
So now I kind of look at this past year of my life as I continue to run, competitive-ish locally, like just to stay in shape. Fitness has always been important to me, taking care of my body. So I have continued to do that. But I had a heel surgery to fix a nagging foot injury that bothered me all through college, but it didn't get bad until probably 4 years ago. So got that taken care of. And that's been nagging because the Achilles doesn't get good blood flow. So the healing process has been so long. I just got a cortisone shot a couple weeks ago, so I'm hoping to start running again. I'm actually revisiting roots of like cycling right now because my body hurts too much. So I had that, and I had some other stuff go on physically that I had to get taken care of this year too. So just like healing and trying to get back on my feet. I would really, really like to run another fast marathon. So my goal is to get healed up, start training again, and then run a fast marathon maybe next year sometime.
Who inspired you to become a runner? Like who do you look up to in the running world?
It's really funny because I'm a massage therapist here, and I've had a business for 15 years, and I work on a lot of the Olympians that run for Nike. And so there's just a lot of understanding of how the body works as an athlete. And so it creates this niche for me to work on other professional athletes. And I will never forget the first time I massaged Alan Webb, and he is the world record for the mile, or the American record for the mile. And everyone was just like, oh my gosh, you get to work on Alan Webb. And I was like, who's Alan Webb? Like, I didn't really have inspirations through other professional athletes. I just was never an athlete. I kind of look back now, and Marielle Ettinger ran in high school. And I mean, I obviously wasn't a runner, but I reflect sometimes thinking, man, if I knew I was a runner, her and I and Jenny Brogdon could have just like wrecked the state, all of us. And that would have been really awesome. So I think Marielle did inspire me later because I reflected on the things she did at Stanford and the times. And so it gave me times to chase. Like, I wanted to beat all of her times that she ran in college. And I mean, I did it.
Yeah. That's funny because Jenny is actually going to be on the show too, Local Legends. And I'm going to reach out to Marielle because I think that there's just a group of people that have made impacts on athletics that have come from LeGrand that just need to be reintroduced and a little bit of appreciation given to them.
Yeah.
So if I were to put you on an island by yourself for the rest of your life, you could either be by yourself or with somebody that talks all the time. Which would you choose?
By myself.
By yourself? You're a loner? A rebel?
I am. I just, even training, I like the first year I won a national title, I was training in Portland by myself. So I moved back to Portland and was doing distance ed and then meeting the team at races. And I just did all my training by myself. And when I won the first title, I told Ben, because it had been really crummy weather here in Portland, that when I was running the 3K indoors, I just saw myself going through a workout by myself. I picked a pace, I held it, it was strategic, and I won my first title based on me just knowing how to operate independent of everybody else. So I really just I like that time by myself. I say I'm an introverted extrovert. I like my time alone to recharge, but I love community too. So
nice. Where do you go when you run? Like here?
Oh, that's like a loaded question. Honestly, just to be have full self-disclosure, I just have had trauma in my life from a young age. I am speaking out now. I'm a counselor. And so I am focusing on doing a lot of work in trauma, rape, things that go on in women's lives that don't get talked about enough. And so I'm in the process of writing a book. I had a really terrible partner for a few years. He was very abusive. And so I'm really taking some of that material, and that's kind of, been how I've run. I've been it's my therapy. It's the way I get out angst and frustration. And so I want to see how much I can get out of my body. And still to this day, exercise is a huge part of my mental health, and that, and then writing, so.
I think with a lot of athletes, they use it as a form of release. You know what I mean? Like it's a way for people to get out negative energy, and a lot of people don't realize that, unless you're an athlete, it's better than going and punching somebody in the face
or drinking. I always joke, because I'm like, dude, if I can't run, and this year was a really true testament with COVID and then not being able to use my body at all. I was like, I had to keep myself in check, because drinking would be really easy just to zone out.
That was my problem. I mean, I went straight to drinking when athletics were done, and I haven't drank in 2.5 years.
That's awesome.
I gave it up. My kids were like, "You were drinking too much," and it was just one of those things where it was like, I need to make a lifestyle change.
Totally.
Do you have your phone with you?
I do.
What's your first song on your playlist?
Oh gosh. The first song on my playlist is, let's see, my collection. The first song that plays when I play my music usually is Dreams Tonight, and it's the Always.
The what?
The Always. It's indie pop.
Oh, hey. What's been really fun about this show is I ask all the college kids, because I talk to a lot of EOU kids, like, what's on your playlist? And it's everything from K-pop to country and I didn't realize that the music taste was so diverse. I would assume all college kids are listening to hip hop.
Totally.
But no, it's very diverse, especially here in LeGrand.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of country, you got a lot of, there's the cheer team dancing to K-pop songs right now. It's crazy. Awesome. So as right now, what's your business? Give yourself some love here.
Yeah. So I have my own business. It's just Karlee Coffey Massage. I work in Lake Oswego. I've had my own business for a long time, but I'm moving into counseling. So I'm kind of doing telehealth right now. I work primarily in addiction. I have a lot of people I work with that are coming from the homeless community or domestic violence, which has been really awesome. And then I'm working on a memoir, which is basically just my life, my experience with, trauma, things I've went throughout my life, and basically how to get to the other side and live a fulfilling life. So I've been doing a lot of that. I was in an accident recently. Obviously, I have a scar on my forehead. So it's brought a lot of perspective. I'm just really trying to see how I can give back to the community. That's my number one priority.
That scar is healing really good. I can barely even notice it. And I'm not saying that to be nice.
Right.
I'm being honest with you. Like you're fortunate. You have good skin or something, like, because that thing came together real nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end it with this last question, and it's pretty much the same thing I ask everybody. So as for your time, let's do it like this though. So usually I ask people to recruit incoming freshmen to EOU for their sport. Mm-hmm. Let's just have you recruit somebody to running. Tell me why I should become a runner.
Oh man. Well, I would say you should become a runner because it is a holistic approach to self-care. It is medicine for your mind. It's medicine for your body. It is holistic in that every part of your body is getting woken up when you're running. You can go slow, you can go fast. You can have goals to lose weight. You could have goals to qualify for Boston. I just look at it as holistically a good thing, but also community. Like, you end up connecting with so many people you wouldn't otherwise connect with. I mean, there's people in LeGrand that I have connected with solely because I started running for Eastern. So the community aspect and just the health aspect from your mind to your body there's like nothing else better than being able to put shoes on and run out of your door. But I do have more appreciation when people say, gosh, it just looks like it hurts so much. And now coming back from injury, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. Eastern Oregon. She's EOU grad, LeGrand High School grad, local legend, Karlee Coffey. I'm Dodzy, and we're out. Thank you.
Thanks.
That was a blast. I've known Karlee since we were in high school. She's a couple years younger than me. Let's just roll right into it. This is the second part of the Doug Trice Memorial, Local Legends. And this is another one. She was a track athlete in high school, graduated from LeGrand High School. She went on to high jump at University of Oregon. She tried to qualify for the Olympics, fell just a little bit short. She went on to start cross-function sports massage and cross-function sports recovery. In high school, she went by Jenny Brogdon until she got married, obviously, but it's none other than Jenny Mapes. Jenny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see you. So let's just start with your time at LHS. You graduated in '99, so that means you were a sophomore when I was a senior. So you competed? You played more than one sport in high school. What sports did you play?
Yes, I participated in track and field, volleyball, and basketball, except for my junior year.
Except for your junior year, but track and field is what you excelled at. Yeah. Are you second all time LHS high jump? Do you even know?
I believe so.
I'm
not sure what the current record is. So
yeah, it was like 5'7".
No, 5'7". I believe it was Julie Fitzgerald who did.
Yes,
jumped 5'7", and I went 5'6.5". I believe my sister may have tied that record. I'm not sure if she broke it or not. I'd have to ask her. I should know that.
Well, I mean, maybe you should know that. I don't really look at it like. So after your time at LHS, you were recruited for track and field?
Yes, I was recruited I signed for the University of Oregon on their track and field team.
So we this year we lost a girl to EOU. It was kind of heartbreaking, but so tell me about your time at UVO. Yeah, tell me about your time there. Like tell me a little bit about the being on the track team at such a high profile university, and obviously they have the best facilities in the country, or arguably the best facilities in the country. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to be on historic Hayward Field. When you are there, it's called Tracktown USA there in Eugene. And what's fantastic about that is a lot of times people get the pole vault confused with the high jump. And I remember in both of my state meets, afterward we would go to pizza or someplace, and the owner would ask, hey, what sport are you which event are you participating in? I'd say the high jump, and they would know exactly what I'm talking about. They won't say, hey, is that the one with the pole? So everybody in Eugene tends to be very connected into the track and field life. And with that said, therefore, there are a lot of season ticket holders there. So you get 6,000 people coming at every home meet. And so it was really fun to have that backing, everybody participating, both those in the stands and the groups that we were with. It was pretty exhilarating experience.
Nice. What did you study at U of O?
Geography and geology.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So how did you get into the sports recovery and wellness and massage therapy?
So my dad had mentioned this company called Esri when I was in high school, and he goes, hey, they do mapping, and my family's really big into maps and the outdoors and all of that. I think that's a true Eastern Oregon spirit. And I said, hey, I want to work for this company called Esri. So I basically called them up and said, what will it take to get a job with you? And they said, well, you'll need to major in geography or geology, take a bunch of GIS courses, which is basically mapping on computers is what Esri is. So I went to get my degree to get a job with Esri, and I worked with them for 8 years. While I was working with them, I met my Olympic coach in Olympia, and he actually lived in Olympia, and he said, hey, what do you feel that you can jump? What did you do at U of O? And I said, well, I did 5'9" and a quarter at U of O. And I felt that I could go further than that. And so we started training. When I was training, I kind of made the transition. There's a point in time where you have to decide, do I want to keep this 40 to 50 hour a week job plus training on top of that, or what do I want to do? So I made the decision to exit Esri and continue working on that Olympic path, because I was training for the 2012 London Olympics. And I just wanted to put my focus on that. I had been coaching a little bit on the side when I was working with Esri, and then loved helping athletes. And so my coach and I had the privilege of working with some major sport teams, pro sport teams, on their first step quickness. So I worked with a lot of pro athletes, general athletes. I became a personal trainer, worked with people on gait analysis, first step quickness, and keeping injury free. And so that's kind of how I went in this. And then I found massage through when you're training at that level, you have like a team of medical staff with you. So I had a sports acupuncturist, chiropractor, massage therapist that I worked with. And my massage therapist helped keep me injury free. And I said, you know what? I think a lot of athletes need to have this. And so I decided, after I got done with my career, I didn't make the Olympic trials. I jumped, that was 1.83 meters was the goal for that. That's 6 foot quarter inch. I ended up missing that by just 4 centimeters, which is just under 2 inches. But it got me into this profession, and now I'm able to have a career that helps people move and heal and recover so that they can do the events and the stuff that they want to do. And it's very fulfilling.
Nice. Not very many people on this planet can say that they were like this close to making the Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympic trials, it was pretty rough, but it did get me into this profession. And so I think all things happen for a reason. And I appreciated and loved my time when I worked at Esri. I appreciated and loved my time working with pro athletes and going across country and working with all of them. And now I really appreciate my time having a huge sports recovery center with a great team of therapists and recovery specialists. And we're excited to see where this adventure goes.
Nice. So you said that you worked with a lot of athletes. Drop a name. Let's go.
Jamal Crawford of
I
NBA.
love Jamal Crossover. He's one of my favorite players.
I had a contract with the Mariners at the Peoria complex to help with their foot speed. So I did that for 2 years, where during their spring training, my coach and I would go down.
I love Jamal Crawford. That's awesome. So have you been back? Have you been inside the Marcus Mariota Performance Institute at U of O?
No, I haven't yet. I'm a little torn because they they took out my beloved Hayward Field to make a whole new complex. And so I haven't been back to Eugene since they've made that change. My heart is, I've got the Prefontaine, old school running love in my heart. And so I haven't gone back to U of O since they've done that change. I'll go back. I'll go check it all out.
I haven't been in the Marcus Mariota Performance Institute, but I've watched a video on it, and it is absolutely top of the line.
Of course.
Beautiful. They have those pads. You were talking about gait. They have those pads on the ground where they can they can break down every little piece of your stride and the way you walk and manipulate that to make you a better runner or a better jumper.
Yep, absolutely.
That's crazy. Is that kind of some of the stuff that you do at your place?
I would love to be a training institute like that. We're actually more on the recovery side. I don't know if you can see behind me. We have, let's see here, how can I do this? Right there, we have some sticks that we use for stick mobility to help open up people's shoulder girdles, help open up people's hips, get stability in muscle lengthening. And we do things like, I don't know if you've seen those compression sleeves for like arms and for legs. We have a lot of like TINS units, compression units, heat packs, ice packs, basically not being athletic trainers. We don't work with injuries, but if somebody wants to recover after they're done with working out or practice or whatever, they can come and use our facility. And then as massage, we work with all sorts of injuries to help with that. So we're more on that recovery side than we are on the technical. I got away from my technical gait analysis and everything to focus more on the recovery side, though I'm still a tech geek and I absolutely love all the new technology that comes out. And anytime I see that kind of stuff, it gets me very excited.
Do you, are you still involved in track and field? Are you coaching or are you doing anything?
I was for a while. So I was a coach 2 years at Evergreen State College, Evergreen State College.
The Gooey Ducks. Nice.
And so what was really great is that my dad, I had a jumper. He was actually number 4 in the country. He was jumping around 7'4", if I do the metrics right. Yeah. And so he was top in the country, and he was actually with Eastern Oregon. So we were at the NAIA National Championships with my team, where I had several jumpers and sprinters, and my jumpers and sprinters came. And so I had a couple throwers as well, some jab throwers, and I was with my dad at that meet. So Dad had his EOU gear on, I had my Gooey Ducks gear on, and we were having a friendly little rivalry there with our jab throwers.
Oh, dude, I love it. That's the most. That is the most beloved yet hated mascot on the planet.
Yeah, I definitely don't claim it.
Well, who came up with that? The Gooey Ducks, for reals. Like, that's crazy.
There's a reason why I'm not at this school anymore. but once I found my husband, we got married, I moved up north, and this has taken there's only so much time you have in a day. And so I had to figure out, where is my life goal, and like, what am I going to do to reach these types of goals? So I had to put a lot of time and effort into building up cross-function sports massage. And I saw the recovery center in my future. So I wanted to make sure that I was building up a really great team, that we were all doing sports techniques and technologies and all that. And you just have so much time in a day. And when you're coaching at the collegiate level, I actually love college athletes. I think they're fantastic. But when you're coaching, you have 9 months out of the year where you're working with people between 2 to 5 days a week. And so it does cut into your time a little bit. I just don't have the time right now to coach and build the business up and build my team up and clientele and everything. And that actually leads me, we actually built this space, the recovery center. I have 5 sport massage therapists, and then we built this within 4 years, or built up the team within 4 years. I found this beautiful space, 2,700 square foot space. We, in 3 months, got it all built, had a VIP opening, and then COVID hit and we had to shut it down 3 days later.
Oh, that's terrible.
So our recovery center was open for 3 days, and then it was closed for 8 months. And the way that we were able to survive is because massage is considered an essential business.
Yeah, thankfully.
We had to, and there are still injuries. People still get in car accidents. People still fall off ladders. And what I noticed, very interesting, maybe some of you guys have experienced this, or you've experienced this, is that we were starting to see people that had to bring their life into their house, into Zoom calls and all that. So everything was forward motioned, or they thought they could do DIY projects and they overexerted themselves. And so they would come in with a whole bunch of injuries, both postural or just overdoing their home exercise or overdoing their project. So we got that kept us busy through the pandemic and was what was able to keep us going while we were until we were here today.
Thankfully. LHS alum, U of O alum, cross-function sports recovery and sports massage owner, Jenny Mapes. Jenny, what if I put you in a situation, say I put you on an island, right? And you either had to be with somebody that never stopped talking or by yourself for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Never stop talking. I roll in the extroversion scale. I'm a little bit more extroverted. I really like being with people. And if someone just talked my ear off, at least I could walk to the other side of the island and they can keep talking to me, pretending like they're talking to me versus me being all by myself. That'd be lonely.
And I always say you could shut them up if you had to. I mean, you could like find some bark and tie it around their face, or
we need to go fishing. You're it.
Yeah, right. So your goals. You were talking about your goals, like down the road. What does it look like?
So we have our recovery center. Our goal is to build this whole place up so that we have clientele coming in here. We even have like whole body cryotherapy, which is that big freezer where you go into negative 200 degrees temperature for 2 minutes. So we have one of those. But my goal is to build our business up here. I'm in the process of finishing a sports massage certificate program. I really want other massage therapists to feel comfortable and confident working on athletes. Athletes have specific injuries. They use their bodies in specific ways. And a lot of massage therapy schools are roughly 10 months in training. So they don't really have that extra orthopedic knowledge when they're coming and somebody comes into their office and has a particular injury or their coach wants you to work on something. So I've developed an entire, I've got classes right now that I teach, but I'm developing an entire sports massage curriculum that my staff and myself can then proliferate throughout the massage community in the US. So that's my goal for that. And then for the recovery center, I would like to get several recovery centers put together. The first one's always the biggest challenge. You learn all about technology and what works and what doesn't work, and just fine tuning all the details. And once you get that, I would love to, take that model and copy it and paste it around to different areas. So we'll see what the future holds.
So say it's time to retire, right? Way down the road. What's Jenny Mapes going to be doing? What are you going to? What's retirement look like?
I don't want to retire, but if I have to, I'm reaching that golden 40 right now. So when retirement is another, for me, probably 30 years. But I love what I do. I love what I do every day. And once I feel like I need to slow down and put things into perspective, I'll look at that. I'm an adventurer. I love to travel. I love the world. We were going to go to Switzerland. My husband and I were going to go to Switzerland in Slovenia this last year, but COVID put a damper on that, both that in this year. So I would love to experience some different cultures and then visit my folks and visit my family more. So eventually, in 30 years, I've got a while.
Do you have kids?
I do not. I have 2 stepkids.
Yeah. So you got 2 kids. They're grown. Mm-hmm. Is there any, I mean, do you want kids? Do you want any more?
Nope. So, we're good. We're super
just
happy.
Nice,
I'll be grandma.
Good. Do you have your phone near you?
Do I have my phone near me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick it up. What's the first song on your playlist?
Oh, I listened to Tim McGraw this morning.
Okay. What song?
Which one? I don't even know how I can find that. That's a good question. I don't know how to find that, but I have my very favorite. It's the Tim McGraw DVD of, believe it's 1998. And I have every song memorized. And that is my go-to when I'm stressed.
So what's your favorite Tim McGraw song then?
I don't know. I literally love every song on that tape. I can play by ear. So I'm not going to be a very good one on that.
That's all right. I use it for like social media, like when I do the announcements on Instagram, and I'll just find a Tim McGraw song. It'll be
fun. I love it.
It'll be awesome. So I guess, I mean, the what I ask athletes and what I tell like high school kids especially is, when most of the time when you're in high school, you're a 3-sport or 2-sport, you're doing more than one thing. And one of the things that these kids, they don't know when they move into the college levels, your body is you have to change everything you do when you decide that you're going to focus on one sport or one event, right? Like if you're a high school kid, you're working football, baseball, whatever, 3 different sports, you're doing all the workouts for that. When you get to college though, most of the time you're looking at one path, and that path is based on what sport you're in or what event you're doing in track and field per se. With that, like, so when they make the transition from high school to college, and I interview a lot of college kids and a lot of high school kids, the recovery changes as well. Like what does that look like to you? You've obviously seen quite a few high school and college athletes. So what does that look like?
Yeah, and pro athletes. So I've got all levels. So the beauty about Eastern Oregon is that people have the ability to do more than one sport. Around here in the Seattle area or in larger cities, kids are kind of, I won't say pigeonholed, but they really get deep into just one sport really young. I think that it's just a blessing that we have the ability to work our bodies in different ways, because is what you end up seeing is if you're just working with one sport, you get overuse injuries because you are using your body constantly going one direction. So let's give you an example. If you're in the high jump, you usually only go one direction. So you're only, in my case, going straight, and then you're turning to the right, and then you're jumping, turning to the right, jumping, turning to the right, jumping. And so if you think about your body twisting continuously that way, or if you're a baseball player, a pitcher, you're constantly going cross body, cross body, cross body. So one side is getting overused, the other side is getting weaker and underused. So you're going to see a lot of these muscle imbalances that can take many years to overcome if the athletes don't recognize it and work to try to correct those while they're doing their sport. So it can be very taxing on the body if they're just doing one sport. And one of the things that I always tell our athletes or like coaches when I'm talking to them at different seminars is that if they can get the athletes in the pool once a week or have them do some other type of cross training on weeks off or time off so that they're not overusing their body one direction. That's the thing is most common that I see.
Makes sense. I hate the fact that kids nowadays are pigeonholed into one sport. I hate it.
And it makes them, there's some psychological components to that. A kid will get burned out if they're doing soccer.
So fast.
Club soccer, select soccer, school soccer, all year round. And then the problem is this coach wants to do this workout. This coach wants to do this workout. So they're doing 2 full-time workouts in one day, and a body can only take so much.
Right.
This interesting thing when I was doing my elite training, it's more intense, but it's shorter. Everybody's like, oh, you spend all day training. I'm like, actually, I didn't. I was working these quick twitch muscles fibers, which peter out. They're like super powerful, but then they peter out. So I went really hard on a practice. And then the next day we would back off and barely do anything for maybe like a half hour or an hour. And then the next day we would hit it hard again. When you're in slower sports or repetitive sports, or you've got a team that you're with, you're doing something every day and never stopping. So mixing that up definitely helps a person's longevity, mentally and physically.
All right, nice. Let's give you a second to talk about your businesses and why people should come see you if they're in that area, or and then I'll get you out of here.
All right. I can put a plug in for our business, but I'm just really into helping people recover and heal. So if we can help in any way with any kind of like ailments. Like we work really well with medical teams, with physical therapists, chiropractors, sport med docs, regular docs, to help get a person functioning. So the whole entire goal is to help keep someone healthy, functioning, so that they can do the sport or whatever they like to do. A lot of people will ask us, well, is this for our motto is born for the athlete. And so I get some people saying, well, does this have to be for athletes? Doesn't have to be for athletes. I believe that anybody is an athlete if they want to move and use their body. So our goal is to help keep all of them injury-free so that they can live life optimally and to their fullest.
So awesome. Eastern Oregon, she's class of 99, LHS graduate, cross-function sports massage and sports recovery owner, Jenny Mapes, and I'm Dodzy, and I appreciate you, Jenny, and I had a good time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and for doing this and for putting it in Mr. Trice's honor. That was great.
Yeah, thank you. Great interviews. I love talking to people, man. It's so fun to hear people's stories. It's Friday, everybody, and none of this would be possible without Buffalo Peak Golf Course. We have a contest going on right now as well, where I'm going to have some prizes. There's going to be a lot of cool things. All you have to do is pick 2 golfers for the Masters. The Masters is April 8th. All you got to do is pick 2 golfers, email them to me or email them to Dana out at Buffalo Peak Golf Course, and you can win. It's free. Why not? Buffalo Peak Golf Course is also the sponsor of this show right now. So, I mean, support them. Go out there, golf when the weather's nice. Dana's doing a great job out there. He's revitalized Buffalo Peak. Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the peak. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, man, I'm so happy. Eastern Oregon, that's all I got for you today. I'm Dodzy. I appreciate you, and I'm out.